Okay, we're now live on YouTube. Um, for the record, today is August 31st, 2022. Um, my name is Brad Gardner. I'm the magistrate judge presiding over the preliminary hearing calendar today. This is position 59 on my calendar, State of Georgia versus Andre Linnell Sims. Mr. Sims is charged in warrant number 2022 WA12106 with committing the offense of theft by receiving stolen property. He's also charged in warrant number 2022 WA12107 with driving a vehicle without a valid license. Mr. Sims is present here in court. He's being represented by attorney Pleasant, and the state is here being represented by attorney Brooks. Attorney Brooks, would you please swear in your witness and present your case?
Yes, Your Honor. And I just want to clarify, the court indicated the warrants are 1 count felony theft by receiving stolen property and driving without a valid license, which is a misdemeanor.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And Officer Tamat, if you could turn your camera on, sir. And can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. If you can please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony and evidence you shall give in this matter now pending before the court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay. You can go ahead and put your hand down. If you can please state your name for the record and let us know where you're employed.
My name is Officer Timmett. I'm with the Clayton County Police Department.
Okay. And how long have you been employed with the Clayton County Police Department?
I've been with the Clayton County Police Department for about 1 year and 7 months.
Okay. And in what capacity are you employed with the Clayton County Police Department?
As a police department at Sector 2.
Okay. So you're a patrol officer?
That is correct.
Okay. Did you have occasion to interact with the defendant in this case, Mr. Sims?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And can you go ahead and let us know about what occurred on August 3rd of 2022?
Absolutely. So we received a call from the firefighters near the Southern Regional Hospital stating that there was an accident. Upon arrival, we kept getting more calls stating that the individual seems to be demented, and he's pacing back and forth. So as I arrived on scene, I observed Mr. Sims out of his vehicle pacing back and forth up and down the roadway near Upper Riverdale Road, near Garden Walk Boulevard, near the side entrance to the firehouse as well as the hospital. Again, he was pacing back and forth. Pulled in front of him, and from there, I noticed that his demeanor was very strange. He was having a lot of involuntary facial movement. At one point, he even growled at me, and from there, I proceeded to call backup. I noticed that the vehicle that he was in, it was wide open. There was, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he had a flat tire, if I'm not mistaken. And the vehicle was wide open. He returned back to the vehicle. He grabbed something out of the vehicle, and then grabbed the backpack out of the vehicle, and then continued walking. I approached him, and from there, I was asking if he needed assistance. When I ran the vehicle came back stolen out of Gwinnett County. From there, I tried to speak with Mr. Sims numerous times. Again, it seems like he wasn't.
Yeah, excuse me, I'm going to object. This is a narrative.
Okay. I'm going to give a little leeway. It sounded to me as that this was sort of foundational, getting to the point, but you please respond to the questions that are asked.
Absolutely. Okay.
And Your Honor, I can kind of move this along and direct it. So you've indicated you interacted with an individual identified as the defendant before the court, Andre Sims.
Absolutely.
Okay. And at some point, were you able to identify the individual you interacted with on the side of the road who was behaving strangely as Mr. Sims?
Yes, through our fingerprints, through our rapid scan ID.
Okay. And after that rapid scan ID, did you become aware of the fact that he had active warrants out of DeKalb County?
That is correct.
Okay. And do you recall what those active warrants were for?
For the same crimes. It was driving without a license and theft by receiving property.
Okay. And were you able to confirm that Mr. Sims, on the day you interacted with him, was the only individual in control of the vehicle you have testified came back as stolen?
That is correct, ma'am.
Okay. And were you able to confirm whether or not he in fact has a valid driver's license on file?
Per GCIC, he doesn't have a valid license.
Okay. And the vehicle that he was in control of, per your testimony, was that 2013 Hyundai Santa Fe?
That is correct.
Okay. And in your warrant application, was it your belief system that that Hyundai Santa Fe had a value greater than $1,500?
That is correct.
Okay, Your Honor, the state doesn't have any further questions.
Ms. Pleasant?
Thank you. Officer Timmett. Officer Timmett, precisely where was the vehicle located when you observed it?
The vehicle was located on Upper Riverdale Road, Garden Walk Boulevard, near the entrance, on the side entrance of Southern Regional, and also near the Fireside building.
And where was Mr. Sims when you initially observed the vehicle?
He was in that same area, pacing back and forth.
In relation to the car, where was he?
He was near the vehicle, pacing back and forth, the vehicle.
And I believe you testified that you observed him enter the vehicle.
Yes, ma'am.
And where did you see him enter the vehicle?
Driver's side.
Did you locate any keys on Mr. Sims in relation to the vehicle?
There was multiple keys on Mr. Sims.
Okay, but my question is, did you locate any in relation to the vehicle?
Into the vehicle, I can't recall at this time, but there were multiple keys to different vehicles.
But nothing to your knowledge in relation to this vehicle that you're in court for today?
I can't recall at this moment. I would have to review the body cam footage.
Did you observe Mr. Sims driving that vehicle?
No, I did not observe him driving that vehicle, but based on the call, Fireside was the one that observed him coming out the vehicle.
But you never observed him operating the vehicle on a Georgia roadway?
No, but I did
That's
observe
a yes or no
him.
question, Officer Timmett.
No, ma'am.
Your Honor, I would ask that he be allowed to explain his answer. I believe that's appropriate on cross-examination.
I'm going to allow you to expand on your answer, but I agree with Ms. Pleasant that it's a yes or no question. But if you can expand on it, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say no, but he did confirm that he did have a flat and he was behind the driver's wheel attempting to get his belongings that was in the vehicle in the passenger side.
But you never observed him driving the vehicle.
Yeah, that is correct, ma'am.
And so you had a conversation with him about a flat tire?
Well, that was the original call that came out, ma'am, was someone
You had-
needing assistance.
Okay, officer, my question is simple. Did you converse with my client about the flat tire?
Yes,
What did he say to you?
he was growling at me.
Okay, so he growled at you about a flat tire.
That is correct. He was growling at me. He was very incoherent. Well, excuse me, not incoherent. He was making faces at me. He said one or two words to me the entire encounter and then growled. And then from there.
So let me ask this question. I'm sorry, Ms. Pleasant. Did he make any statements related to a flat tire?
That is correct. He did. I asked him if, yeah.
And I think, and the reason I'm jumping in, officer, is because this is not a confrontational situation. Either he said something about the flat tire or he didn't. And I think that's how I heard the question. The response that you just gave was that he growled at you. And so is that a statement about a flat tire, or did he growl at you when you were trying to converse with him about the flat tire?
Okay, so I asked him if he had a flat tire. He said yes. Then he stopped talking and started to growl.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Pleasant.
Thank you, Judge. You said he removed belongings from the vehicle. What did he remove from the vehicle?
He removed his backpack.
Was there anyone else in that vehicle to your knowledge?
No.
Did any other law enforcement observe the interaction between yourself and Mr. Sims?
Yes.
And who are those officers that have made the observation?
There were about 5 officers. It was Officer Baker, James Baker, Officer Call, Officer Georges, Officer, it's not coming to my head, but Officer George, where the entire shift came to assist.
And were these officers, did they arrive before you or after you?
They arrived after.
Okay, I believe that's all I have at this time, Your Honor.
Ms. Brooks, do you have any redirect?
Yes, Your Honor. Officer Timmett, you indicated that someone else indicated to you they witnessed the defendant driving the vehicle. Can you expound upon that?
Yeah, it was going to be the complainant, which is the Clayton County emergency, the fire side, excuse me.
Okay.
Clayton County Emergency Services.
So you were provided with information from witnesses who watched the defendant driving that Hyundai Santa Fe.
I believe so, correct.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honor.
Ms. Pleasant, any recross?
No, Judge.
And Officer Timmett, just so that I'm clear, when you say fireside, is that like fire department?
That's correct.
Thank you. May Officer Timmett be excused?
I have nothing further for Officer Timmett at this time, Your Honor.
Okay, do you have any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Pleasant, do you have any witnesses?
No, Judge.
Okay, is there any argument?
I will reserve, Your Honor. So is now the time? Officer Timmett, you can go ahead and sign off. Thank you for your time.
And you're free to stay
Okay.
if you want to, but you're no longer compelled to be here. So you can log off or you can stay on and watch the end.
Thank you, guys.
Ms. Pleasant, do you have any argument?
Brief on with regards to the driving on suspended license. This officer did not observe my client driving on a Georgia roadway. His information may come at a third hand, but he did not observe it. So I would ask that that warrant be dismissed.
Okay, Ms. Brooks? And well, and is that your complete argument?
And yes, submitting on the felony charge, Judge.
Okay, Ms. Brooks?
Yes, Your Honor. Based on the testimony of the arresting officer in this case, he's indicated to the court he witnessed the defendant in control of a 2013 Hyundai Santa Fe. In his training and experience, he believed the defendant to have claimed ownership over that vehicle, that in fact it came back stolen out of Gwinnett County, which the officer personally ran a check on, that the witnesses on scene indicated the defendant was attempting to change tires on the vehicle, that he removed his backpack from the vehicle, and that vehicle, in fact, is worth more than $1,500. The state believes that's the probable cause for the felony theft by receiving. And the having no license, Your Honor, he came back as having no license on file. Whether or not the officer witnessed it, certainly he can be provided information by another witness who did investigate a crime. It's no different than an officer who wasn't there to see a murder, but a witness says, I watched somebody kill somebody else. He doesn't have to have firsthand knowledge of it. He's allowed to present to the court at this stage for probable cause purposes that someone else indicated the defendant was in control of the vehicle and driving it. So the state is asking the court to find and find probable cause and to bind over both the felony theft by receiving as well as the driving without a license. His run came back as without a license, and the fire department saw him operating that motor vehicle on a roadway in Clayton County.
Okay, at this point, I'm going to find that evidence is sufficient to bind over both charges. I'm relying upon the testimony related to items that Mr. Sims was supposedly removing from the vehicle in a backpack, and the fact that there is no other person present who arguably could have been the driver. So I'm going to bind both of these charges over to the Superior Court of Clayton County. What's our next case?